Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video, I have discussed about that things with you, how can change your state all that value data with our input element, right? I hope it's very much clear to you. Now in this video, I want to discuss about how can add some of the style in your component. So you can do the things in two different way. Like if you go to your app, into this app, before you can see there is also use that one of the class name as a app class, right? So this app is actually loaded from the input and then the app CSS. So if you go to that app CSS, you can see that is our all that class. So you can do the things like that way. Better I want to do now to create another style. So into the src, I want to create another folder. Okay, better I want to organize everything very perfectly, then that will be helpful. I create another folder and I just name this folder as a style sheet. Okay, style sheets. So I simply created one of the folder, and into this folder area I want to create one of the new file and I just name it as a book. Okay, book.css. So this type of one of the name I simply loaded. So here I want to load one of the class name as a book, whatever the name actually choose. So if you know a little bit the CSS, I hope you usually very easy to you. Like I want to do and to take one of the wide. Okay, I take one of the wide I make it as a 300. Okay, 300 pixel. And also I take one of the margin. So if you want to add that margin, like I take it as a 10 pixel. Okay, 10 pixel, and also I want to make it as auto. Okay, 10 pixel auto, and then I want to add some of the padding. So if you want to add that padding, so that will be a padding, and padding I want to do and to make it right now as a 10 pixel. Okay, that is a 10 pixel. And also if you want to add that border, and border will be one of the 1 pixel, and also I want to make it as a solid. So there is another code. And also if you want to add that border radius, you can also use it as a border radius. Border radius I make it as a 5 pixel. Okay, so simple one of the class name I declared as a book, and here I simply pass one of the style CSS. So now I want to use our this class. Okay, if you want to use this class like in our, because everything I have displayed in which place? I have displayed in our book component, right? And you can see that is one of the div. So into this div area, now I want to declare this class. So if you want to declare it, first of all you have to load this CSS. So if you want to load it, that means here we have to import. So I simply import, and then our file location. For the first time here we have to go outside from to this position, and you can see it's also display our style sheets folder. And into this style sheets I want to access our book. So that is a book.css. So I simply loaded that book.css. That means right now that is our appropriate position, right? I simply loaded, and into the book CSS here I have created our class name as a book. So now in React.js, if you want to access that class name into the div area, you have to use that as a class name, right? So that will be as a class name, and our class name will be as a book. So now that will be executed. Now if you click as a save all, and now let's check this out, click as a refresh. You can see it's now perfect. So there is a 1, 2, and there is a 3. Now it's display like that way. Okay, it's now display like that way, which is totally fine. Okay, which is totally fine. If you change it, you can see it's successfully changed. Great. Better I want to make it not that 300, I make it as a 500. Now click as a save all. Now go there, click as a refresh. That is now look at it. Okay friend, so I hope friend you get some of the idea how to add some of the CSS. That means how to add some of the CSS class, how to create some of the CSS, how can load this CSS. I hope it's very much clear to you. So that is our CSS style sheet, right? If you want to add some of the inline CSS, then how can do that work? Like if you go to our book list, into the book list here, like that is one of the name as a book list. Okay, into this h1 tag area here I want to add one of the inline style sheet. So if you want to add that inline style sheet, that is, as I told you, you can do the things multiple way. It just simply name it as a class name. So here you have to simply use it as a class name as a book, right? So that is our CSS class, but I want to use one of the inline CSS. So if you want to use that inline CSS, then into the render, okay, into the render area here you have to declare one of the variable. Like I just take one of the constant variable, I take that constant, I just name that as a style, whatever the name actually choose. Right now I name it as a style, And here you have to declare everything with some of the object property data. Like I take one of the border, and then into the border area I want to take it as a 1 pixel, okay, 1 pixel solid, and I make it as a red. Okay, so this type of one of the property, and it also I want to take another one as a border radius. Okay, border radius, you can see it's not suggested because that is not appropriate, but here I want to use it. If you some of the time on the single code, if you want to use some of the inner style, then you can actually do that things like that way. So I make it as a 5 pixel. Okay, I make it as 5 pixel. And also if you want to add some of the background, you can also use it, background color. So I make this background color as a black or red. Okay, I make it as a red. So now let's check this out. So here I simply declare all that our style, and I just take the things with this variable as style. So now our inline, that means here I want to do and to declare it. So if you want to declare it, then simple here we have to use it as style. Okay, you have to use that as style, and style will be our which one? Style will be our this variable. So our variable name, I name it as style. So now simply declare that style. Now our this style, all that class will be executed in here. Let's check this out. If you click as a save all, so that is in our book list, right? So that is our book list. Now if you click as a refresh, you can see it's now executed. So here I use some of the background color as a red, and that is our border radius as a 5 pixel. You can see it's also as a border radius, which is totally fine. That is our border solid 1 pixel red. That is also successfully working. Okay, everything is worked perfectly. If you want to change that color, like here I want to change that our color, so I want to use it as a color. That means our text color I want to change. So that will be the color, and color I want to make it as a white. Okay, I make it as a white. Now click as a save all. Now go there, refresh it. Yeah, you can see it's now become changed. So I share both of this with you. If you want to use some of the inner style, you have to use it like that way. If you want to use some of the style sheet for the CSS, then you have to first of all load this. That means you have to input this CSS, and then you have to declare this CSS class. Okay friend, I hope you like it very much. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.